Hello, welcome to LEM'n'TEA Podcast, episode 49. We're so close to 50.
I'm Tory, and that's Lewis.
Oh, okay.
No.
Today's opposite day.
Well, it could be if you wanted it to be. If you just play along, okay? If you just play along. Like, if you just played along, just like Instagram didn't do to Trixie Mattel.
Oh my god, yeah. I was going to say justice for Trixie, but she already got her account back, so.
She got it back already?
Yeah.
How long was she banned for? Like 2 hours?
Maybe. I didn't see how long, but it was something that just happened, so anyway. If you want to know what we're talking about, look up Trixie Mattel whales. Speaking of whales, I'm pregnant still.
It looks adorable. It's a little baby.
I am 32 weeks pregnant. I'm in the home stretch.
How many kilograms is the baby?
Kilograms? Oh,
I know I'm trying to trip you up. Go ahead. How many pounds is it?
Excuse me. We live in America, and we
Damn
don't
right. Damn right.
What a great cup that only has the American flag and nothing else on it.
Not the Brazilian flag on it on the back.
My baby is staggering almost 5 pounds.
A whopping 5 pounds.
Well, because they've been monitoring me because they thought that because it's not a defect, but it's something where the baby could be born underweight. And with her not being underweight currently, and apparently she's like in the 66th percentile, which I'm told is good. Yeah. I don't know.
Let me tell you this.
Yeah.
You're going to hear that percentile shit for her entire babyhood.
Mm-hmm. I know that doctors do it too for like.
Yeah.
I mean, it's for weight mostly and for height, but I think weight
it's for mostly a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
Like motor skills, things like that.
Yeah. I flunked those. I was not in a percentile of anything
Look
close.
At you now.
Right?
Right.
Did the intro totally on the first time and
nobody needs to know about that other time, man. I did this the first time.
All right.
This thing. Like I hooked that the first try. All right. See, that's totally fine. My question to you is or rather my statement is don't get so worked up on the percentile shit because they'll say that all the time and you'll be like, "Oh man, my baby's only in the 60 something percentile." It really doesn't mean anything.
Well, they quantified it with, and that's normal. So I didn't have any qualms or questions about that. I believe them. I don't think they would lie about that.
No, they wouldn't lie about that shit.
But
I'm saying like it does make you, sometimes it makes you feel a little lesser because of the things they're saying. Like, oh yeah, your baby should be this, your baby should be that or whatever. It'll work out in the end. Like it always does.
So I have at least 7 more weeks to go of this.
Or maybe not great. But I mean like you're doing good is what I'm saying.
Thanks.
You're doing great.
It's been a very strange experience with a lot of trials and tribulations for me personally. I mean, I don't know. It always feels weird to compare like my pregnancy to other people's where it's like, well, they had it so much worse because I don't know. I didn't have a non-appreciation for pregnant people before, but being one now, I have a greater
Who gives a shit about them?
A greater appreciation. Oh, shut up. Your wife carried twins to the best of her ability until they decided enough was enough.
I mean,
and
she did
revolted.
Carry them, but she didn't go the full 40 weeks. She went to 32 and then tapped out. She said, stop.
I think, and also now I think of people like who even have, not even just twins, but like even just
triplets.
Yeah, triplets or like octomom.
I don't think you can carry those babies to full term. Like, I don't think it's possible. Like medically, it's not possible. There's not enough room.
But everybody goes through different pregnancy things. Like, I'm much better today, but the baby turned upside down.
Whee!
Yeah. So then the top of my stomach was like, oh, hey, I'm not stretched for that. And it felt like just this horrible, like shooting pain, like a pulled muscle for like 2 days.
Freaking out about that, huh?
I called my doctor yesterday and I was like, I just had the ultrasound, so I know this is a me problem and not a baby problem. And they were like, yeah, you're right. I'm like, oh, okay, good. So
what did they say? Just that it's fine.
It's gonna be all right. Round ligament pain, which is just the body stretching and accommodating and organs reorganizing and. Women are metal as fuck, man. I'm sorry.
You guys are No, you are so right because this would never happen to me. Like it could never be me. Mm-hmm. And I mean that in the most loving way possible. Yeah. Like if I had to have our babies, it would never happen. Because I don't want to do it. I don't want to go through this. This is crazy.
Right. Yeah, and that's why and I want to preface this by saying that I love all the people that I have in my life. I'm not doing this again. I don't want to get questions about when I'm going to be pregnant again. This is a one-time deal. I want another, like, I would want to adopt. I'm not ruling out the idea of
adoption,
giving my child another sibling, which is not why ever you should have another child, just never, for the record. But I also feel like there's so many children out in the world that need families anyway, so
they're looking for homes, and you should try to adopt if you can, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and as somebody who has now gone through this and can say, I don't want to do this again. I don't want to do this again.
Never again.
I'm very excited, and it's all worth it for the end product, but I don't want to do this again. So
who the fuck could blame you? Nobody could blame you. Certainly nobody who's ever been pregnant could blame you, unless they're one of those crazy ass, like, I hate to say this, but like religious weirdos who are like, it's just my God-given purpose.
Yeah, it's
to,
my
like,
duty.
It's my duty to please the Lord by bearing him 19 kids and counting.
I think it might also be like, I'm not at the geriatric age, but like I'm sure just doing this in my 30s is also probably not helping my cause. Like maybe if I was in my 20s and younger, this wouldn't be such
I think pregnancy sucks no matter what, Tory. Like
but as you get older, it does become more difficult. But and even just like looking at my mom, and she had me and my brother, and I'm like, how did you do this twice? Like, and I was like,
why, Mom? Why?
And I was 2.5 when my brother was born, which means I was about maybe just over, I was a little over a year and a half when my mom was pregnant with my brother, and I'm just thinking, how do you wrangle? Like, I just started learning how to walk. How are you wrangling me and then also being
I know.
So it's belated by this point because we're in June now, but happy Mother's Day. You go, moms.
You got to celebrate your first Mother's Day, right?
So weird.
Strange.
Yeah, because it's like I don't have anything. I'm not holding or like. There's not. It's not like a tangible. It is it's weird because I'm gonna say it's not tangible and I'm not taking care of anything, but I kind of am. But it's different. But it's weird. And also just considering myself a mom is really weird. It's just
it will fuck you up. It'll fuck with your head. There's sometimes when I think like they call me dad. Like obviously like I'm their dad. I know I'm their dad. I was there since the beginning. But it's still really weird to think of myself as a dad because I was never like, I don't know. It's just not in my head that I was ever a dad.
Or in the perspective of like, I am somebody's dad.
I'm somebody's dad. I'm two people's dad.
It's very weighted.
It's weird. It's very strange. It shouldn't be that strange, but it's very weird. And welcome to the world of being a parent.
Weirdness. I'm used to weirdness. It's a new kind of weirdness. So, but anyway,
it's good stuff.
Yeah. And I had my baby shower. Thank you for coming, by the way.
Of course. Yeah.
Hey, you yawned before me. Nice.
Sorry, I'm an old man and I'm dying.
Oh, okay. You're not.
Of cancer.
Oh my God, no, you're not. Stop. Don't say that. He's not. No, you're not.
Just a little bit.
No. A little bit of cancer. What the hell does that mean?
Just as a little treat.
Oh my. Okay. No. All right. Anyway.
Okay, forget it. Then.
No one's dying of anything. Anyway, I had my baby shower.
Baby.
And I found out the way that Josh and I grew up. My family really likes like cleanness, like wiping things down or whatever, vacuuming. But Josh's family is very like organizational cleanness, where I guess the house can be dirty, but things have to be put in their place, I guess. And the best way he described it was Christmas, like he was like, yeah, when I opened my Christmas presents, I would immediately put them in my room. And I'm like, oh, when me and my brother had Christmas, we would leave our presents under the tree and just gradually like play with them and take them and whatever. And so when we got all our baby shower gifts, the next day he was like, okay, we need to put all this stuff away. We need to get these washed. And it's like, so everything is put away.
Oh my God.
Which is crazy.
That's record time.
I mean, kind of for the most part. There's some stuff in totes and stuff, like all the little baby cutlery. Baby cutlery is so cute, by the way. Like
it
little
is.
Spoons.
So it cute. Is, but it will get a little annoying because they just don't fit anywhere. You know what I mean? Like,
I
don't
know.
Fit anywhere.
So that's why right now they're just in a tote.
Right.
until we find a place to put them when we actually need them. But yeah, all the clothes are washed and put away, and like we got all the diapers It's like unlike anything I've ever experienced, and
it's a lot.
Yeah,
it's a lot at once.
I kind of knew that Josh was like this, but it involves a third party now. It's like, oh. Well, I'm gonna let her keep presents under the tree until like New Year's Eve, Josh.
Right.
Hope that's okay.
God.
But
yeah, we would kind of do something similar to you. Like some of the stuff was in the living room by the tree, and then other stuff that I really was playing with went to my room, or like I was using it at the time, so it went in the room. But
yeah, we would we'd go to my grandparents' house when me and my brother were kids after we did our immediate family thing, and we would just like take a couple toys and bring them with us to play with there or whatever. Like, I don't know. Yeah, there was no putting away of anything right away.
Put that shit away.
It just feels like that means Christmas is over. So, or
you know
like,
what?
Yeah,
it's never over.
No.
I was kind of hoping that you would have said that when you got home from the baby shower, you guys went home immediately, and Josh took half of the gifts and put them away, and you took half of them and put them under a tree. You should have done it.
Damn it.
Why didn't you think of that?
Baby brain.
Okay.
Mom brain. Brain.
Keep using that for the next couple of years. You got that excuse.
It's a real phenomenon.
It is. It really is. It happens to all moms. Like every mom I've talked to. So
yeah. I mean, I still don't feel like mine is horribly bad. I'm not sure if you can really measure it on a scale, but I'm measuring mine on a scale.
No.
Okay.
I'm not going there.
All right. But anyway, yeah, thank you for coming to the baby shower.
Of course.
Shout out to my mom and my my aunts that really pulled it together. They made it a book theme. It was adorable.
The goats.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah. And my mom always likes to be like, I'm not crafty or whatever. And
she is.
I mean, she's like, she's crafty in the way that she can think of creative things and assemble people who can help her in doing the creative
She's a great
things.
leader. She has great leadership skills.
Yeah. I hope to be even half like her for my child. So
you already are. Believe me, you're going to get so much advice.
Oh, yeah. That was the other thing, too. Was Josh and I were reading through the advice cards because at the baby shower.
They had, you guys had a bunch of like little things, some that you could color, like little coloring things.
Yeah,
right?
we did my mom set up a thing for like baby's first ABCs and stuff, and it was coloring pages, and we miraculously have all 26 letters. I don't know how that happened.
Incredible.
So we had that, and then there was one where it was like give the new parents advice. Literally half of them are like, don't listen to anybody.
Yeah.
It's like the best advice is to not take anybody's advice.
I'm glad a lot of those say that, because a lot of people like to give advice and how you should do things, but I think people realize like kids it's not just one. Yeah. There's not one set rule for a child. They're all different.
And I think most of the advice too, though, is just them giving their perspective on what worked for them, and not necessarily being like, you have to do it this way or your baby's gonna suffer.
Yeah, no, that never happens.
But people like to give their perspective on stuff and how they did their own child rearing, and I do appreciate it. There's a lot of stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff I learned from it. But yeah. So
yeah.
Not to completely flip the subject on its head.
Sure.
But I'm going to get really dark here. While my baby shower was happening, and this has made news across the country, there was a pretty legitimate crime spree going on in our state of Massachusetts.
Say what?
So.
Across the whole state?
Mostly it took place in 3 different towns.
Okay.
So, which I won't name.
No.
You can look them up. But so in one town, at their mall, a mall that we've been to before.
Okay.
A guy bypassed the ticket check counter, went into this movie theater and stabbed 4 girls.
Oh, I have heard about this.
So, and the girls were between the ages of 9 and 17, and apparently, because they were interviewing one of the girls' mothers, and I was like, I already felt bad, but then she said 3 of those 4 girls were her daughters, all 3 of them. So,
imagine you send your kids to the fucking movies and 3 of them get stabbed. Like, what the fuck?
Right? Yeah. So they were all non-life threatening, but I mean, it's
awful.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's gonna scare them forever. Like,
yeah. So after that, then this guy went to a different town, went up through the McDonald's drive-through, stabbed somebody through the drive-through window, and then went into the McDonald's and then stabbed somebody else and then fled the scene. But somebody managed to get his license plate number. So then the cops were chasing him, and then he crashed his car
into a bridge.
Close-ish, near the Cape. Crashed his car. They called it a fire explosion. It kind of caught on fire, and he seemed fine, I guess. Like,
he lived?
Oh yeah. And
did all of his victims live?
Yes, all the victims lived. And he's originally from Martha's Vineyard.
Martha.
So there's a 4th location, I guess, for Massachusetts. He looks crazy. He's like,
you said you were gonna name any of the towns, and you just didn't.
Martha Vineyard's not a town.
All right, that's true.
He looks crazy though. He's like in his mid-20s, and he's got like this scraggly blonde hair. Like, you just look at him and
you're like, oh yeah, he would stab somebody.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then to top it all off, apparently now he's a suspect in a homicide that happened that same day in Connecticut.
A homicide? So
yeah.
He did kill somebody.
Well, yeah, but
maybe
that one's more alleged. These
okay.
are the stabbings are more confirmed. But anyway, that's what happened during my my baby.
What a
shower.
fucking freak, man!
And this was all in the span of like 2 hours.
He's like stab. God, what an asshole, dude! This guy.
And the last I heard about him was that he was being held without bond, and that doctors had evaluated him, and he told them he was hearing voices, and it's like, oh,
convenient.
Yeah, I mean, and also yes, I believe that. So it's weird seeing places I've been to or places that I know suddenly being in like BBC News or CNN or something. It's like,
goddamn,
this is not necessarily what we want to be noted for, but
no, we want to. I'm not even gonna say it because it'll give it away. But like, just don't come here. Stay away. Get the fuck away.
And the crappy part of it is like, oh well, I'm glad it was only a knife.
Yeah. Like, luckily, right?
Yeah.
It's sad to say that, but yeah, luckily.
Yeah. So anyway, I thought that whole thing was interesting, mainly because, at least as far as the stabbings go, there were no fatalities. So.
It just makes me very scared from my kids. Not something that I want to put on you as a new parent, obviously.
No, I think about that. It's like that stupid Family Guy skit where they're like watching some horrible news story, and Brian's a parent now, and he's like, oh my god.
Oh yeah. Do you have a child?
Yeah. I'm like, I can't even watch those now or whatever. And then
Can I tell you a secret?
Yeah.
It's kind of true.
No, there's a lot of truth in the jest of Family Guy when I was actually watching it for its first 4 or 5 seasons.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I and now I don't technically have a child yet, so I don't go there in my brain, but I do worry. I have a bird. I don't go there totally in my brain, but I do kind of think about it a little bit more.
I've told you this, and I mean this every time. I have never thought about death or like people dying as much as I have since I became a father. Like, when I became a dad, I started thinking about them, obviously, myself. Like, I got to be here for them.
Yeah.
Right? And then like all the crazy shit that happens in the world. I'm like, what if these kids are out in the world one day and some psychopath is there?
Yeah.
It's something you really can't dwell on for too long, because it will stop you in every aspect of your life.
And you'll be like a helicopter parent.
Yeah. And I don't want to do that. I
think part of it too is just that like the world's always been crazy, but I think it's just now we have so much more access to,
of course,
stories and information about the world being crazy that it seems like the world is crazier than. But I mean, they used to hang people for suspicions of being witches. You know, like
right.
There have been crazy times throughout all of history. I really do think that
if we had TikTok back in those days, it'd be like, somebody was unalived in Salem today.
Oh my god. Can we cancel the word unalive? Gretchen. Gretchen the witch
was unalived.
God. But yeah, I think it is more of a thing where you do think about it more when, it's not just yourself that you're worrying about. So, right. But you're also worrying about yourself, like you said, in a different context of how it would affect others who depend on you.
Yeah,
it's hefty. But also you can't think about it too much, but you think about it, but you can't think about it.
I think about it probably on a weekly basis.
Okay.
I wouldn't say a daily basis. There was a time where I thought about it almost every day because I just was panicking. I'm like, what happens if this happens? What happens if that happens? You really cannot dwell on it for too long because it will consume your every moment. Yeah. When COVID was at its worst, when it first happened, that was when my brain was like, overload. I was at my worst anxiety with them. I just wanted them to be careful. They were starting like preschool that year. Oh man, I was such a fucking wreck.
But they had the cutest masks.
They did. They were so adorable.
I felt bad for our friend who literally just had a baby a few months before.
Like literally a few months.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I guess if that was me, I would be especially paranoid, I guess, but...
Yeah, of course. I mean...
Because babies are different, and you can't give certain inoculations to a baby, are immune to COVID. What?
All these new babies are immune to COVID.
If only. Immune. That'd make for a cool, movie premise.
Yeah, right?
They're just born with antibodies that make them immune to...
Anti-babies.
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 Get it to Hollywood.
Yes.
But anyway... that's my true crime corner, I guess.
I love it. I love your true crime corner.
Oh, great, good.
I watch a lot of true crime shit every day.
Me too. Yeah, that makes up 50% of the background noise of what I listen to for
Me too.
For work. It's just...
I listen to music, but sometimes I get kind of bored with the same songs. So then I'll switch to true crime. But sometimes I can't do true crime because if I'm not in a good mindset, it will just fuck me up for the rest of the day.
And that's when you watch a 4-hour deep dive on a Star Wars hotel. I still haven't watched it yet.
I think it's worth watching because I think she makes some excellent points. What the fuck are you doing?
She's moving the wall. Okay, sorry.
Anyways,
the 4-hour video.
The 4-hour video, it was good, and
I do still need to watch it.
If you want, it's no
I'm
pressure.
interested in it. This thing I've never heard of before that apparently failed.
It's very, very interesting how it was done, and the way that she breaks it down. She breaks it down to like a per minute cost.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
We're talking about Jenny Nicholson, by the way.
Yeah, Jenny
for the uninformed.
Nicholson in the Star Wars Hotel, which I guess was not called the Star Wars Hotel, but everyone knows it as the Star Wars Hotel, so let's call it the Star Wars Hotel. So.
It's like They did a test screening for that 70s show, and it was called something else, and nobody could remember the actual title. So
yeah.
Like, I really liked that 70s show.
Like My Life and something,
it's like,
right?
Yeah, like Teenage Wasteland or something.
Oh, that's it. That was it.
Which is a kind of cringy, like, Nirvana knockoff title, in my
excuse me, Teenage Wasteland was the title of a song by The Who. Okay. Actually, it's not even a title. I'm not getting into this. Anyways.
But anyway,
yes.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just funny how we've either become like short form video watchers or extremely interested in this very niche subject about for something that's like literally 3 or 4 hours long.
I will say this: God bless good video essayists because
yes, that's true.
Me with so many hours of entertainment on shit that I probably don't care about as much, but once I start looking at it, I'm like, you know what? I do care about Apple Jacks that much. They did change. They fell off.
Oh my god, I think about cereals that have changed all the time.
Like what?
Honeycomb changed.
You're gonna say Trix next, right?
I haven't had Trix in a long time.
But it changed.
Okay, I've heard it changed. I just haven't had it.
Honeycomb changed? How did they change?
I think they changed back, but they like stopped being as sweet. I think me and my mom said it tasted like cardboard. This was when I was still young. Yeah, they changed it back, but
I haven't had honeycomb in a long time.
I think about. I had a hankering for honeycombs.
A hankering?
During this pregnancy, the bird did. My baby.
The bird did.
So, but I forget that there's like a thing they're called video essayists, but
yes,
they also make for good just general background noise for you to, you can tune in, but you don't have to like fully tune in.
I love shit like that. I really do, because half the time when I'm using my computer, I'm not fully devoting my brain to one thing. It's whoops.
And I just want noise. Like I don't know.
I need something.
I can't work in silence. So.
Thank you. Yeah.
Josh doesn't get that, but that's okay.
No, I need something to be saying something to me.
Yeah.
And it has to be the right something. Because if it's not the right something, I'm either going to focus too much.
Yeah.
Or I'm not going to focus at all.
I usually watch or I listen to like movie reviews or commentaries like to end my day.
Did you see the Your Movie Sucks?
Yes, I finally watched the second part of Madam Web, which only honestly makes me want to see it more.
Me too.
There's certain movie reviews where it can convince me, even if it's bad, it can convince me to see the movie. And then there are some where it's like I'm never like the Pop-Tart movie. It's like I saw a review on it and I'm like,
all right, listen.
Listen. Do you have you gone back to wanting to watch it?
No, and it was. I feel so bad. I was like texting you one day. I'm like, Tory, guess what? And you're like, what? We should watch something. I'm like, and you're like, yeah, what is it? And I'm like, we should try that Pop-Tarts movie. And you're like, why?
Well, not like.
But you were right.
But I more meant it out of curiosity, like why you were wanting to watch it. It's God. There's a fine art to
bad.
Yeah, but like bad. There's entertaining bad. And then, like, what I think Madam Web would be. And then there's bad, which is, haha, Pop-Tart, but stale.
Haha, Pop-Tart.
Stale jokes and, like, shoehorned references and minimal effort and people thinking maybe a little egotistically that they are funnier than what they are purporting.
Jerry Seinfeld?
I'm not naming names. I'm not going to name
Seinfeld.
names.
But it's true, though. Jerry Seinfeld, like many people have already pointed out, was not the best comedic person on Seinfeld. There was a whole bunch of other people. Mostly it was Larry David.
Well, it worked because it was an ensemble cast, too.
Sure, but what I mean is, like, Larry David was the writing partner for him.
Yeah.
And that's the guy who's funny. Like, that's the funny guy to me.
Yeah.
Jerry Seinfeld has always been an observational comic where he sits on
What's
stage.
the deal
and
with
he's like,
airline food?
Hey, yeah, what's the deal with airline food? Oh my God, it's not good. Yeah, okay.
I'm mostly just confused of why anybody wanted or just why anybody needed to make a Pop-Tart movie.
They didn't, and that's the whole thing about it too. Like, I know
there was like a
we're going
Beanie
off on
Baby
tangent.
movie too and stuff. It's just
There
like
was?
Yeah, like the origin of Beanie Babies. It's like we don't need origin stories on like fads.
The Pogs movie.
Oh my God, Silly Band's movie.
Ooh.
The Uggs boot movie. I don't know.
Wow.
I'm just trying to think
Uggs
of
boot movie.
I'm just trying to think of like I don't know. I say these and one of them probably already exists, but
I didn't know about the Beanie Babies thing. That's pretty cool.
yeah.
Did you watch it?
No, but I saw a review on that too, and it's essentially kind of the same thing where it's not great. It's bad in the same way where it doesn't really add much commentary to anything, and it's not very funny, and it's tonally strange.
That's what they did with the Pop-Tarts movie. They had Jerry Seinfeld as, like, I don't know, the Pop-Tarts guy. I don't know. And then, like, somehow Bill Burr's in it, which it kind of pisses me off because it's like
as JFK, right?
As JFK
Yeah.
for some reason, and he's a Boston guy, like 100% sounds like he's from Boston.
Yeah.
His accent sounds really bad in this. Like, it just sounds very like because he's trying to be JFK.
Yeah, and I don't know, maybe that's just a testament to how much he cared about being in this movie.
Why? Maybe he needed a paycheck, is what it was. I don't know.
I saw a trailer for it too, and then I saw the part where the guy dressed as Chef Boyardee says, "Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs."
That's right.
And that's when I lost all hope inside. I was like, "This is not."
You're totally right. There is. It was that guy from SNL, and I don't remember his name, but he delivers that line. It's bad.
You know, it could have just been not something like that. Why can't it just be that some like taglines come up in a boring way?
Sure.
Why did it have to be that somebody exclaimed this very specific, now iconic phrase, and somebody in the corner is like, write that down. It's like, I don't think that's actually how that worked. Yeah.
In the movie, takes a sip of a drink. It's like an orange drink, and he's like, it's got a lot of tang to it.
Oh my, yeah.
And of course, that ends up being
and they're like,
tang.
It's always just somebody saying something and a light bulb like you see go off in their head, and it's like, oh,
right,
that's the thing. But anyway, how did we even get here? Oh, we were talking about
bad movies.
Bad movies.
Listen, okay, this is a good thing.
But there is a fine art to a good bad movie.
Sure.
It's overplayed, but The Room's great example of a good bad movie, where everybody's really acting in earnest, and there's several contributing factors that make it a horrible movie.
Yes.
But because everybody's so earnest and they're not trying to like be, I guess, funny bad, because you can tell when people are trying.
Yeah.
And it comes off as cringe every time. Example, the Pop-Tart movie. Although I think they were actually trying to make something good, maybe. I don't know.
Two things, and then we move on. One,
yeah.
If you want your movie to be bad and not Pop-Tarts bad, right?
Is that the new bad? The level of bad is Pop-Tarts bad at the minimum?
No, I'm just using that as a placeholder for any movie that exists that really shouldn't.
Okay.
Because it's just not great. Don't put Amy Schumer in it, because everyone hates Amy Schumer except for the people that Amy Schumer knows, like Jerry Seinfeld.
This ensemble cast was not.
Melissa McCarthy, who I don't care about, but like I guess people like her. Fucking Bill Burr, why?
Right.
Why?
Maybe he owed Jerry a favor or something.
He must have.
But
and the second thing I'll say is what is the second thing I'm gonna say? Why am I so old?
Oh no.
Fuck. Okay.
So
well,
if you don't want your bad movie to be Pop-Tarts bad,
yeah.
we'll just leave it at don't cast any of the people in the Pop-Tarts movie except for Bill Burr.
Oh.
Yeah.
Here's the second thing.
Oh, yeah.
This apparently was made because it was a labor of love and not an advertisement like I thought it was. Like I thought it was I thought it would have been sponsored by Kellogg's, but it wasn't.
No, which is what makes this so much more confusing.
I don't understand why they did it, is what I'm saying.
I would sue if I was Kellogg's.
They didn't. They were all about it. They're like, yeah, this is great. We're going to actually
Which I think I said before, but it comes off as very how do you do fellow kids of them. It's like, haha, because everybody's talking about it on the internet, and that means that it's a
good thing.
Success. Yeah.
Let's do it.
No.
Anyways, we can move on. I'm sorry.
All right. Let's move on to something a little more.
What would you like to talk about, my friend?
How about let's talk about gay stuff. Happy Pride, everybody. It's Pride Month. Right now as we're recording, it's the first day of June, which means it's Pride Month. It's a time for really awkward or heated conversations about
Drag Queen Story Hour.
Drag Queen Story Hour. Or Target maybe having a Pride collection. I don't know what the deal with that is after last year when I was all mad about it.
I don't know. There's so much bullshit going on. Rainbow washing is happening already, right?
Yeah, there's not. So yeah, because we were trying to poke around at a few company Twitter accounts to see if they changed their logo to a rainbow.
Sure.
Because it's always fun. It's like Cinderella, where like the clock strikes midnight and all of a sudden like
gay.
It becomes gay, and then as soon as 12:01 a.m. on July 1st comes along, everything's back to normal and the carriage turns back into a pumpkin. And not as many companies. I don't know if it's like they maybe know that they might get not clowned on, but just sort of accused of
rainbow
pandering
washing.
or whatever. Or if they're really trying to play it cool and be like, no, guys, we're going to wait until some random day in June.
We really care. We
really care. And we don't want to make it seem, like we're just doing this because everybody else is doing this on June 1st. But
sure,
we're going to be rainbow on June 3rd. That's how you know we're true allies.
I think that is probably part of it. I think they have caught on to what the internet's saying. They're not stupid. They're online. They're saying dumb shit online. They're doing clapbacks online like Wendy's. It's so stupid. I hate it.
Well, Wendy's, I don't know. Wendy's, I feel like, kind of pioneered that.
Yeah, I don't need every brand doing that.
Oh, no. That's what I'm, yeah. But for real, happy Pride from two bisexuals in lawn chairs. Not a futon this time, but but in lawn chairs.
Yes.
And the best advice I can give to anybody who wants to come out is don't do it on Facebook. Hey, don't do it on Facebook.
Sorry.
That was my mistake that I made, but it's all out there, whatever, it's fine. And I'm still married to a man and we are having a child. I'm living the heteronormative dream,
So can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
I don't think it was a mistake. Like, you said it was a mistake. I know that you might feel that now.
Just the way I went about it probably could have been.
I don't think it was a mistake.
Better.
I think people don't know when to shut the fuck up about things that they're not involved in.
Yeah, and really the reason I did Facebook was just because I knew the most people.
Sure, it was going to get the most reach, and most everybody that you cared about, friend wise, they're not on Facebook anyways, and you already told them.
Right. I mean, and really nothing changed, which is kind of what I wanted, because I wasn't like making the announcement and then suddenly being like, and I'm leaving my husband or whatever. Right. Like nothing
now you
changed.
Guys are having a baby, so that means you're straight.
Yes. And no matter what my baby turns out to be, I will accept my baby for who she wants to be.
Right.
Which is, I think, the mark of a good parent in my almost parent opinion. But
a terrifying condor.
God.
She could want to be. Who knows?
I don't remember if we talked about this last episode, but in case you guys aren't privy to the bird talk, we've been referencing my baby as the bird for a couple months now. So any mention of any sort of avian creature is more than likely directly related to my baby. For example, if she wants to be a condor, I will support that as long as she doesn't hunt me, as condors do.
Never.
I hope not.
She could never.
So, but anyway, show support to your fellow LGBTQ plus people.
What's the gayest bird?
What's the gayest bird?
Yes, off the top of your head. No looking it up. What's the gayest bird?
I want to say flamingo, but really I don't think...
Okay, flamingos are kind of gay. They're really...
Maybe penguins, though.
Ooh, why do you say penguins?
Because there's documented proof of like male penguins pairing up and being parents too. Like in Tangle Makes 3, that was based on a real story of two male penguins that brought up its own egg as their own.
So penguins kind of gay with it, right?
Yeah.
All right.
It happens in the animal kingdom. Like it just does. They don't subscribe to a specific agenda. It's just sort of like they want to be with another creature of their sex.
Hey, you look kind of like me.
Yeah.
You've got a penis. That's fine, I think.
That's fine, I think.
I don't know how this works.
Yeah.
I'm a penguin.
So I guess penguins on what I know from.
All right. Flamingo's kind of gay with it too, though, because one, they stand on one leg, kind of spicy with how they stand, kind of sussy, right? Mm. One leg up like this.
Yeah.
They're pink because of what they eat, right?
All the shrimp and krill and stuff.
All the shrimp and krill. I mean, I'm just saying they're a little saucy.
And it's also funny to me in the animal kingdom. I mean, I think it extends to other animals, but birds in particular, the male birds are always the most gayest. Well, they're always the most colorful and the most showy, which they do to attract usually opposite sex mates. But it's really funny because like they're so flamboyant, which is not a word that is like associated with anything
masculine.
Yeah. It's just funny how that's the animal kingdom. It's like, oh, the male peacocks get to be royal blue and have all these like this vast array of feathers, and the female peacocks are kind of brown and
just kind of like regular birds. Like you probably wouldn't even know like they were peacocks if you didn't see the male counterparts, I would say.
Yeah. So animal kingdom's funny like that.
Well,
except your fellow animal.
Which one?
Any of them. For whatever they choose to be. Condor, flamingo, penguin, whatever.
There you go. Okay. Acceptance all around.
Also support your fellow LGBTQ plus creative people on independent shops if you can, rather than
Target.
I was going to say Target. They collab sometimes with like actual LGBTQ plus people.
Yeah.
It kind of requires a little bit of research. I don't know. I just say pop on Etsy. You'll probably find somebody who you at least know is an independent person. I support
anyone who has the wherewithal to do that. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be honest. I'm probably going to shop anywhere.
Yeah.
Just because I don't have the fucking time to do all the research.
Oh, no. Yeah.
But
there's just some stuff that you look at and it's like so clearly pandering.
Oh, yeah.
Like one of my favorite things I ever saw on Facebook advertised to me was these nacho chips and this, I'm assuming salsa or guacamole, but it was rainbow, and it said Pico de Gallo.
Okay, that's funny.
It was like,
that's pretty funny.
What does that even mean?
I'm willing to find out. Let's go.
Right, so.
Is there anything else you'd like to say about Pride?
respect your fellow whales and also your fellow drag queens.
True. Story hour or no story hour.
And any single drag queen will tell you they're not out to indoctrinate anybody because they don't really like kids to begin with. And if you take your kid to a drag show, that's on you, not them.
Parent, not them.
It's the equivalent of like if you took your kid to a strip club and you're like, but there was naked women everywhere. Oh my God.
That comedian was on stage. He was saying all sorts of bad stuff, all sorts of bad words. Like,
it reminds me how like Doja Cat recently had said something about like, basically you're a bad parent if you take your kid to my show. Like, she's like, I'm literally singing about sex. Like,
yeah,
I am shaking my chat. Like, it's your fault if you are.
It's your fault.
It's
not your fault.
It's your fault if you think that this is an age appropriate show for your child. Like, there's some honest on the parent.
Yeah, don't take your kids to see like up and coming pop stars. They usually all sing about sex in some way or another.
What offends you can't hurt you if you choose to ignore it.
If you're an incel, I'm sorry.
Goodbye.
Don't go see Doja Cat. You won't like it.
If you're an incel.
Or a child.
Or an incel child.
All right.
Anyway, happy Pride, everybody.
Happy Pride.
Jeez.
Have I derailed this like pretty bad? I'm sorry.
No, we've been talking about a lot of good variety of stuff. I think we've talked about babies and stabbings and birds and
babies and stabbings and birds. Oh my!
And gay stuff. Pretty good.
Yeah.
So this is gonna be and video essayists. Yeah, we've got a good spectrum of stuff going on.
Right.
Spectrum, like a rainbow spectrum.
Wow. Wow, I had to work that in. Good job.
Thanks.
Hey.
I've been saying it all day too. I'm sorry.
Hey.
Like almost everything where you're asking me why I'm saying something, I'm like, 'cause it's Pride. Get it?
Listen. Pride is every day.
Is deep inside.
Every day.
So.
Hey.
Hey. So anyway, so I mentioned Doja Cat. Speaking of pop stars.
I know where this is going. Yeah, let's talk about it.
Okay. So I think there's a fine art to being a quote unquote aging pop star, or even, because we're going to get into this too, an aging, I guess, music star.
Okay.
In general.
Musician, artist.
One way to not be kind of the butt of a joke, I would say, is to not do what JLow did. JLow, Jennifer Lopez. I'm not really sure, like, she releases singles here and there, but somebody had made a good point on the internet, the good old internet, where they don't really see her as somebody who really caters to fans or like does any sort of like not caters to, but like any sort of fan interaction. She just kind of like releases some song and then walks around. Yeah.
And then does a tour, maybe.
I was going to say that. And then like maybe makes a cringy documentary about
love,
their life struggle or whatever. I don't know.
Whatever the fuck that was supposed to be about. That was, see that, I would like to see that, not so much her fucking dumb movie that she made.
Yeah.
But the behind the scenes thing where she's just kind of cringing around and being just very rich and stupid. I don't know how else to describe it. She's just very not with it.
Mm-hmm. And so anyway, and based on that, what we're saying is she was supposed to have a tour that was called This Is Me ... now, or This Is Me ... now. And she canceled the whole thing. The first show was supposed to be June 26th, and she canceled the whole thing today on June 1st. And on
Pride.
On the start of Pride, I know, right?
What the fuck?
And said that it was because she wanted to spend more time with her family and friends and kids, which is a weird thing to say when last week the tour was very like full steam ahead, and apparently you didn't want to spend time with your family and friends and kids. Very strange. And that was basically, it sounded like it was like her decision because she just realized she wanted to prioritize the people in her life, when really It's most likely due to the fact that her ticket sales were absolutely abysmal. People were sharing screenshots up a couple weeks before, and not a lot of seats. Yeah, not a lot of.
They were sending screenshots of the fucking seating map of the.
Yeah, not a lot of full seats. Part of the problem too, though, is that they were saying that like nosebleed seats were selling for like $200 or $250 or something like that.
Yikes.
I know this all ties into this whole price gouging or price upping thing that is going on with Ticketmaster and Live Nation. I'm sure that's part of it. I think part of it also is just that Jennifer.
She's delusional. Sorry.
No, perfect. I was gonna say, I just think it's I called it the Taylor effect, Taylor Swift, which is not on her in any way, but it's just by virtue of her having been able to justify, I guess, these high ticket prices because her shows sell out like in minutes,
right?
And she sells out these huge stadium tours. Like, there's only certain artists that I can imagine but being able to like meet that success. Beyonce is another one.
Oh yeah.
Madonna just performed in Brazil for 2 million people.
Oh my god.
Like, there are certain people where if you think of a tour of the scale that Jennifer Lopez was trying to do, I'd be like, yeah, they'll do great. Jennifer Lopez herself, not quite.
Here's somebody that could have done it.
Who?
And that is somebody that is maybe not well connected with JLow, but somebody who is definite has some bad blood between them. Mariah Carey. Mariah Carey could have sold that shit up.
Yeah.
I don't know her.
Well, it's because it's like I said, it's because when somebody had said online that Jennifer Lopez doesn't really like, I don't know,
interact.
Yeah, with like fans or anything. Like Mariah, when in the years where All I Want for Christmas Is You has been like popping off between November and December, she like did commercials about it. She's amazing. She's made her own promos being like, Christmas is here or whatever. Like, she's
the queen of Christmas now.
She's in and aware of stuff, and she makes content outside of, I don't know, the occasional song. And I'll be honest, I'm sorry, because I know you like Mariah a lot. I don't know when the last time she released a song was.
I don't either. When was Shake It Off? That was a while ago, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
That's the last one I remember, but I haven't listened to her in such a long time.
And I think that's okay. And I think I just look to you because I know that you.
Sure. I used to be a pretty big fan, yeah.
Yeah, Mariah Stan.
But
I think there's also, you have to have an understanding as knowing what your sort of greatest hits were. And there was this idea with JLow's tour that it would just be her newest stuff, which the public wasn't very
nobody knows that shit
familiar with.
People know Jenny from the Block. Like, they know that shit.
And also, I think it was also ill-timed because of stuff with like Diddy anyway.
Oh,
where she's loosely associated with all that stuff. But so she changed the name of her tour to include the subtitle Greatest Hits as like a way to draw people and be like, no, maybe Jenny from the Block will actually play. And then she canceled half a dozen tour venues.
Yep.
A month before she canceled the whole tour. So it was like the writing was kind of on the wall. I remember reading something too, and I don't know anything about them, but the Black Keys.
Sure.
Somebody, and I know that they're not like the Rolling Stones. Like, they're not huge venue sellout kinds of folk.
Sure.
But somebody had convinced them that they could be, so they had set up a tour where it was going to be all arena venues, and it sold horribly. And so they are now reworking the tour so that they're doing smaller venues, which is what they should have done in the first place. So I think it's just a lot of weird overestimation of both like your own, like the artist's perception of their own self, and also we are trying to fight McDonald's to have lower prices. Like, people cannot afford these $250 concert tickets.
No, not when a Big Mac costs $20. Like,
yeah, not in this economy.
Not in this economy.
Like, but really, I don't know. It's just like people had been saying too. It's like, I went to see this person and they were only $69 for.
Nice.
Like, I was direct quoting somebody.
I know.
But they were a double-digit price, where now you want to get to see just in the far back these people.
Triple digits.
Yeah, you had to pay well over $150.
Fuck that.
And like I said before, only a few artists can really warrant that because they have the mainstay popularity to back it up, or they know their, I don't want to say know their worth because that sounds kind of mean, but they know that like most people know them from certain songs from a certain era of theirs, and it's not usually the current one. So yeah, I don't know. It's all just the spending time with family and kids thing was 100% to save face, and I understand it. There's been a couple of video essayists who have also been dissecting JLow's career.
For real?
Yeah, I get recommended them.
Me too. Trust me, I've seen a couple.
And I mean, if the person's a tool bag, like, you know, it's hard to be humble in celebrity, I guess.
Sit down.
Sit down, JLow.
Sit down.
With your family.
Yeah, it takes some time.
with your tour manager.
With your tour manager and cancel shows.
So yeah, I guess I'm just bummed out for the people who were thinking they were also going to have a job.
Yeah.
Working the tour, only for it to get canceled literally 3 weeks before. Or like
legitimate fans, like.
Yeah, I do feel bad. Because there were some comments that were like, and her dozens of fans were disappointed. But like, there were people who were like.
There were people who were riding that Jenny train from the block.
I'm not hating on anybody who likes Jennifer Lopez, and I mean, it's just there's a disconnect.
There's a huge disconnect
with her popularity and mainstay power, even with her collaboration with G Idol.
Jennifer Lopez got lucky. All right,
yeah,
she got First of all, the G Idol thing sucked. I don't even know if I heard the song, but like
you
whatever.
did. I sent it to you. I think you must
did?
have. Yeah, and you said you didn't enjoy JLow's parts in particular.
Oh yeah.
It was a short song, but...
It was a short song. It was pretty much, like, standard K-pop. Except for her.
Yeah.
She got lucky. She was a dancer. Mm-hmm. For the most part, I think her talent is dancing.
Yeah.
And she's a pretty gifted dancer. She's pretty good at what she does when she's dancing.
Yeah.
She's not a good singer. And this has been proven time and time again. People have come forward and be like, yeah, that's my voice. I'm Jenny from the blog. That's like me.
Some of the comments were like, will Ashanti be on the tour with her and stuff? So.
Exactly. Like Ashanti getting that song taken away from her or whatever. That song was I'm Real. I'm Real was supposed to be for Ashanti.
That's an ironic.
Right?
Yeah.
So JLow has gotten lucky. She's a good dancer. She was in Living Color as one of the dancey.
There's a couple things she's acted in that I actually think she was decent in, and then I think people also really cling on to her portrayal as Selena.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah. That's part of the luck too. Is like she can act in some capacity. I don't think she's a great actor. I mean, I've seen JLow.
I want to see JLow.
All right.
Turkey time.
It's turkey time.
Gobble gobble.
Not a good. Oh God. She was also in this other movie called Enough, which was like a domestic violence thing. Which
oh my God, we had to watch that in school.
Did you watch it in school?
Yeah.
What the hell?
To showcase domestic abuse.
What the fuck?
They put on just like anything. We watched 28 Days Later, which was like Sandra Bullock as a recovering alcoholic and stuff. Like they just put on anything that had to do with any sort of health related topic with
we got to watch
celebrity.
Fast and the Furious.
What the hell? We did. Damn, Florida. You lucky.
Yeah. But no, she's gotten very lucky.
Yeah.
She's met the right people. Like she was involved with
Diddy,
which was a huge thing for her because she got a lot of street cred from that, right? Mm-hmm. So she's from the Bronx, whatever, blah, blah, blah. She'll say this, and that. But like it just doesn't add up when you start checking the facts. Like, yeah, she probably is from the Bronx, right? I don't think she's lying about that. But
no.
But like, where in the Bronx and like where did she hang out at? Because like I was telling you earlier, like my dad grew up in like the South Bronx, projects, bullshit. Like he was in the Bronx.
Yeah.
Right. I don't think she was around there, and that's what she's trying to pull for street cred. It's like you weren't there.
Yeah.
You weren't there. Her bodega order was crazy. Her bodega order was like, oh yeah, I go there and I get a ham and cheese, which nobody gets. ham and cheese, and I get an orange drink. If you know, you know. And it's like, no, we don't. We don't know.
Please explain.
Tell me what the orange drink is. We don't know what it is.
It's got that tang.
Good way to bring it back.
Hey.
Okay.
There's this video that, like, you have to particularly steel yourself for because it's very cringe, and it's just she goes back to her old neighborhood. Have you ever seen that one?
Yes.
And
it's
she's thinking that the people who now live there are gonna know who she is.
I'm Jennifer,
and they just don't.
They're like,
and
who
it's
are you?
so awkward, and you just get the feeling of like, just say okay, bye, like just leave, please, just leave.
She does really stay there. I've seen the same video. It's good. Okay, there's like a person sitting on the stoop, right?
Yeah.
And she approaches them. Oh yeah, I used to live here. Yeah. Oh yeah, what's your name? Jennifer Lopez. And you're like, I don't know, because it's the Bronx and there's a million Jennifer Lopez's out there, right?
Yeah.
It's so bad. It's so fucking bad.
I would really have to be. I can't now because I would need
Stoned.
to be some sort of inebriated to watch that. So I guess I'm not watching it for another few months again. But I remember it. It makes me like cringe every time.
Please do not watch it without me because I have seen the movie before with my parents. It was weird.
Why? Because it took place in the Bronx,
my dad hates Jennifer Lopez.
Really?
Hates her.
Huh.
Hates her.
Okay.
I think they had a run-in or something.
Ooh.
And I think that he's like, he has called her fake for like years since I was a kid.
And now he's like, see, I was telling the truth. Nobody believed me.
I wish. But like, he's called her fake for a long, since I was a kid.
Yeah.
Before any of this shit, right?
Yeah.
And now we're kind of seeing the repercussions of like people actually who have met her. Like I've seen so many stories online that have said a couple of things. One, they're all bad. One said it was like this radio personality, and they were like, yeah, we went to one of her shows once, and she like asked everybody in the crowd if they were a Virgo or whatever, like whatever Australian sign, astrological sign. Huh? Good eye, mate. Yeah.
I identify as a kangaroo.
I'm a dive. So she's like, if you're a Virgo, raise your hand, and they like raise their hand, and then she's like, okay, you guys can leave.
What?
Don't know why. Two, a couple people have alleged serving her while she was out with Ben Affleck, and he apparently is pretty gracious to service workers. He'll like tip them $100.
Old Boston boy.
Yeah. So she'll go back and be like, oh, did he tip you $100? And she'll like take back the 100 and like give him like, I don't know, $5-10 or whatever. Kind of crazy.
Jesus.
Everybody who has ever met this person has said like, oh no, it was unfortunate. Or it was against my will. Just nobody likes her apparently, and it sucks because if she would have just been like, hey, like I am a pop star in the sense that like people write my songs and I do the dances, but like I don't really have that creative mindset.
Yeah.
I think she'd get a pretty big pass.
Yeah, if she was just more upfront about, like, she's not
an artist in that sense.
She's not like Adele or Whitney Houston or anything.
Oh
like,
God, no.
Or whatever, like,
or Ashanti.
And you don't need to be. Pop's pretty forgiving in that sense.
Sure it is.
But there's also, you know, in pop you are facing the public more often than most other artists in other music genres, and I think there's a degree of needing to be personable. And while I don't believe every single story that's like,
sure,
I saw her at a supermarket and she was so rude or whatever, if you keep hearing the same stories over and over, there's got to be some sort of common truth to it.
Yeah.
Even if the stories aren't specifically truthful, like just the tone of that she is not necessarily. I don't know. Speculating about that stuff's kind of fun, but I also like.
I know that it's not 100% accurate.
Yeah,
I get it, but every story I hear about this person is like that. They're not impressed, or she was rude, or.
Conversely, if you hear about like the first person that comes to mind about any interaction that they have being like a wonderful experience is like Jack Black.
Jack Black, yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard any story where he's been like. He snapped at a waiter and threw his napkin at him, or like you know, if everybody's story kind of has the same tone,
sure,
you're inclined to believe that this person is how they portray themselves to be.
Yeah, like Keanu Reeves.
Yes, him too. Yes, yep.
He usually has pretty positive stories. And when he does like go off, it's because people are really like, I don't know.
Everybody has a limit.
Yeah. And I wouldn't even say like I would write her off for like reaching her limit or like at the top of her fame when she was really, really famous. But she really hasn't been that famous since the early 2000s, for one. That was her height of her fame, right? Then you said American Idol was another like resurgence.
Yeah, when she was a judge on American Idol,
which I didn't even know. I had no idea.
The most recent song besides the G Idol one that I can remember her being in is On the Floor, I think it's called.
Tonight we're gonna
which I actually like.
Yeah.
I don't know. She has songs that I like. Like, I don't dislike her. It's just I don't get the I don't get the vibe that she likes many people, I guess.
I think my problem with JLow ultimately is not that she is this like manufactured artist that just kind of goes out and does her own thing, whatever.
That never happens in pop.
Because that never happens in pop, right? But it's the fact that she thinks she's more than she is. Like, you need to be humble, really. Like, you need to be humble. You need to be like, I'm a dancer. This person writes my songs. I have singing ability, but not to that extent.
This could translate over to Drake too.
Oh yeah, no, he's in the same boat because they're both very popular. I mean, he's way more popular than she ever was, ever.
I guess it would. It would depend on the. I don't know. It depends on, I guess, the community you're talking about.
I think his span. Okay, I'll give you that. Like in the Latin community, they're going for Jennifer Lopez. Like,
oh yeah.
Right. But you need to be humble. You need to take a break, breathe. You need to not make a movie about your artistic endeavors when you don't really have a good artistic vision. You don't know how to execute it. People are on camera with you, like your husband, and he's like, well, you know what's special about our love is the fact that we don't share it with anyone else. And you're on camera like reading love letters that he wrote you. It's weird. It's kind of cringe.
Yeah.
It's very strange. And her other movie that came out, it's on Netflix. It's called Atlas.
Oh, that new sci-fi-ish one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've heard that's... Yeah.
It bombed.
That's such a weird role for her to take. That's not any sort of role she's ever done before.
It looks like she's in a mech in that thing. I'm like, I saw the screenshots, and it's like a robot movie. I'm like, what the fuck is happening with her?
Yeah. So anyway, I hope she spends a lot of time with her friends and family.
Yes.
And I hope her fans get refunds on those tickets.
Me too.
There was another aging musician that you wanted to talk about.
Me? Oh yeah, the Candyman.
The Candyman.
He's just Marshall Mathers. He's just a regular guy.
Eminem.
Just a regular dude.
Totally.
That was a lyric from the Marshall Mathers LP. You don't remember that song? It's called I'm Marshall Mathers. It's called Marshall Mathers.
That's not the LP I grew up with, so
you grew up with Eminem Show.
Eminem, yep.
Yeah.
Yep, Eminem Show. But anyway, he released a new song called Houdini.
Yeah.
Where he samples I forget the name.
I think it's Steve Miller.
Steve Miller
Abracadabra.
Band. Yes. And himself. Samples himself. Eminem copied Marshall Mathers. And you have thoughts on that?
Okay, first of all,
I do too, but I think yours are more interesting.
No, go for yours. That's totally fine. Like, I know we don't have the same opinion on this, and that's fine.
We differed in music opinions.
Oh my God.
Gosh. I liked the song. And I think that's just because Eminem to me has two, and again, this is how early Eminem was anyway. He has two different tones that work really well, and one is like a really like shock value comedic snarky tone, and then the other one is really dark stuff that pulls from his real life experiences and makes it sound much more gritty and whatever. And he hit a slump for the last couple of albums he had where he was not doing either of those, but he was still trying to be like snarky and wordplay-y, but he was like addressing his haters and the critics and stuff like that, and didn't really like, that's something that I feel like every other rapper does, and I think that by doing Houdini, it is very much like it's a rehash, like it's, you know, unabashedly a rehash of Without Me and maybe a couple of his other songs, but I think Without Me is probably the biggest one. And he goes back to that comedic tone, that I got to know him by that I really liked, and I think that was a step in the right direction for him. I just liked it better than most of his newer stuff anyway. And you?
I hated it.
All right.
The reason I have several reasons why I didn't like it. One is because I think age is nothing but a number, but he's 51. Just to say, okay?
But we're giving a number.
The number is 51.
Ooh.
And I'm not saying you need to be 51 years old, but I'm saying at 51 you should have probably learned a couple of things. One, I like that he's bringing the Slim Shady side of him back, just because I think that was the most fun he has been. But it's different now, okay? The problem Eminem has, in my opinion, is that he suffers from a lot of things that comedians do, like Jerry Seinfeld, for example, right? They get stuck in this, like, you can't say anything, so I'm just going to say whatever I want. Or, like, Dave Chappelle being like, you can't tell jokes anymore. People are too sensitive. Eminem says that literally in the song. Yeah, he
says something about canceling, right?
Right.
Yeah.
No, you just haven't evolved. Like, jokes can be funny. You can tell a trans joke in a positive way, or like in a way that. Go ahead.
Okay. So
please do.
I'm not arguing this. I'm just confused, and maybe you can explain it.
Sure.
Because you retweeted that at twitter.com/unorganized.
Oh my God.
The lyric that's like blowing up is that one about a Siamese cat.
Yeah, I
don't understand it, and everybody's like, "That's so good," and legit, I genuinely don't get it.
I don't think it's a good lyric. I
don't understand. There's supposed to be some sort of like nuance, like if it's supposed to what does it mean? I really don't get it.
I don't 100% understand it. Okay, my take on it is that he's just trying to be edgy. He's like, here's a trans thing that I can say, just like Dave Chappelle. Haha. It's my cat, get it? My cat identifies as another type of cat.
And also, what was it, black and Chinese or whatever? What was it like?
My cat's like Siamese or something. It identifies as Chinese or some shit.
I was so confused why people were like,
it's him trying to make an edgy trans joke.
Lyric up. I was just like,
it's not even funny. Like, it's not even good, and that's the worst part. If it was funny, it'd be like, oh yeah, okay, he kind of gets it. That's what you want to show the audience, that you can move, you can be funny, you can be edgy, but you're also evolved with the times, because people don't want to hear, well,
Marshall Moore. They want Shady. I'm chopped liver.
He's chopped liver. That was pretty good.
Sorry.
That was really good. My point with this is, you need to grow with the audience. Like, we're older now, right? And I know that probably more people agree with you than agree with me. Totally fine. I think people really enjoy this song. Good for them.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
However, I think it's lazy, and the reason I have a problem with it is because I know that he's probably capable of more, and he has been capable of more in the past. And how he's put out this shit, and it's like, it's the same stuff. I've seen this before. Okay, you had Revival that flopped. You had Kamikaze that was better, but still flopped. You had fucking the curtain, whatever.
It was like the murder. What the hell was
That's the one, yeah.
Yeah, that was also not
very
great.
like heavily Edgar Allan Poe inspired or whatever.
And I think that's why I like Houdini, is because he's had this string of just like
flop
albums that I've listened to in full, because I do like Eminem, and there were definitely a lot more that it was like, once was enough to listen to a track on this album.
For sure.
So I think that he's going back to something that is kind of what he's known for. Made me feel a little relieved.
Yeah.
But I mean, he was also literally, sampling himself. So I do understand the lazy perspective of it too.
I don't think I mind him sampling himself so much. I think I mind him. So this album is called The Death of Slim Shady is what it is. So so probably going to be like the last time you see this persona on an album.
I keep meaning to watch the music video too, because apparently it's like him versus like his bleach blonde, like white t-shirt wearing self. And
and it's fine. You can let me know how it is.
Okay.
I probably won't watch it.
Well, you've already said you listened to it 3 times, and
I have, and I've tried. I really want it to be like, okay, this is probably going to be decent. Every time he comes back, man, I'll give him this. This is the best attempt he's had in a while. I don't think it's very good though. I have that problem where it's like, he's like, oh, I'm just you're gonna cancel me. Well, I'm just gonna be really offensive, and I'm gonna say this and this, and it's like the stuff you said really isn't that offensive. Also, it's not very good.
No, it was pretty. Yeah, this was pretty toned down. And then he was just like, "Oh yeah, and fuck my kids." It's like,
yeah,
oh,
fuck
okay.
my kids. Oh, you know what's the funny
This wasn't
joke?
the tone of the entire song, but
right.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what's the funny thing? R. Kelly, and get it? He likes people to pee on him because that's what he liked, and he was in that video, right? Mm-hmm. He likes that stuff. His favorite group is the Black Eyed Peas.
Yeah.
Another thing Eminem does that really kills me is he explains the punchline all the time.
Oh, yeah,
Do not explain your punchlines, whether you're a comedian or you're doing, this like double entendre shit with music. Mm-hmm. Don't.
Yeah.
Don't laugh at it either. Don't laugh at it.
Yeah.
I know it's funny. If it's going to be funny, I know it's funny. If it's cringe and you also laugh at it, it kills me.
It made me think of genuine. This is such a horrible lyric for it to be one of my favorite
Go ahead.
lyrics, and I can't remember what song it's from.
I'll tell you.
It was a line that he said where he doesn't really explain it, but it was something along the lines of, "This is horrible, and I'm sorry in advance. If we don't batter the women, how can we bake them a cake?"
That was Rap Monster, a Rap God.
Shout out to BTS, Rap Monster.
Holy
Let's go,
shit. Rap Monster, RM.
But anyway, I was like, because that's. It does its job of being shocking, but also like darkly funny.
Sure.
And he's not explaining it like, get it because it's cake batter.
Yes.
Because he does explain
a lot of his stuff.
Yeah, but that was like an example, and he has several others, I think. But that's one that always. I remember me and my brother listening to that song for the first time, and hearing that line, and we were just like dying laughing because we're terrible people. But
I think that was his last good album, or decent listenable album. Was that? It still wasn't great for me. Like it's Marshall Mathers. That came off the Marshall Mathers LP too, which decent album, but like I have listened to Eminem since I was a kid. I grew up with that, right?
Yes, me too. Heavily censored in a suburban community.
That's fine. But like I don't know. I've spent a lot of my childhood and a lot of my adult life like listening to hip hop, like a lot of fucking hip hop. I know what's good. I know what's bad. I know what he's capable of. I see all these things, and I can sing almost every song on his first two albums. Eminem Show, I can probably still sing that too, but there's a lot more misses on that album than there are hits for me. And I think that like when I go back to his songs that I can quote line for line, and I think about the lyrics, there was a time where I'm like, damn, this guy is really like tuned in. Like he cares about this shit. Now it just feels like he's getting through it.
Yeah.
He's just kind of slogging along. Maybe the album will be good. Maybe it'll surprise us all. I doubt it. I severely doubt it. But
starting off at a deficit on this side here,
right,
Eminem.
Right. Anyways, that's basically all I had to say about it. I don't have too many strong opinions other than the fact that I think he can do better. I think he has done better, and I think he just needs to stop, or just make music that you want to make and not that you think you have to make. Like you don't need to be. I know you're Eminem. You don't need to be
Marshall.
Like,
we're addressing you directly.
Marshall, it's for you, okay? Just make music that sounds good. Stop explaining every fucking little punchline. Okay, stop doing that shit. It's stupid. It's dumb. I don't want to hear it. Stop going into genres or flows that you cannot handle. You do that too much. Too much. Stop saying the F slur.
Does he still?
I mean, he has.
Oh, yeah.
He has, like, pretty recently, too.
Oh, okay.
Just on that one, like, Edgar Allan Poe album.
Oh.
He did on there, too, and it's like,
it's okay. Elton John is my sponsor.
It only takes you so far.
Yeah.
You know? Anyways, that's what I got to say on that.
Yeah.
If the Candyman is back, 51 years old.
The Candyman.
Houdini.
See, we could have differing opinions on music. It's all good.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah. But I'm curious about what the album's gonna consist of. If it's gonna be, I don't know. Tonally, I can't imagine that it's all going to be like how Houdini is, but I also don't know what it will be like. So
I will say this.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be trash. But I will make a point of at least listening to it because I think I listen to worse shit.
Yeah.
So, like, I'll
Me too.
listen to it and I'll go through it and I'll make my final assertion and
final verdict.
You'll definitely be like the first person I talk to about it because
Yes.
I don't think anyone else gives a fuck.
If the album can drop before the baby does.
The baby dropping. There we go.
Then I will listen to it as well.
We're coming up on time here,
are.
Right?
So let's end it on a good note.
Please
and
tell me.
Well, you're going to tell me.
No.
Yeah, because you managed to, after months of a rigorous daily campaign on Twitter, this thing finally happened.
Okay, I'm ready for this. This is actually pretty exciting.
Yeah.
I follow this group. They're called Magdalena Bay, and they're very good. They make like a lot of pop, synthwave, like very, very cool music. I love it. It's very good. Vibes based. Perfect. I like spammed for like 80 days, and then I stopped because nothing was happening. I was like, I just want them to perform in Boston or like near Boston or somewhere close.
Yeah, it was like day 70 of asking Magdalena Bay to perform in and around Boston.
Holy shit.
Well, I would see it. I appreciated the commitment. I would see it every day on my Twitter feed.
God.
But you were just really dedicated to the... No, I liked all the tweets anytime I saw them, so...
Yeah. But they are touring. They're touring again, and they're touring in a lot of places, and they're touring in Boston.
Yay!
And they had a sale on the tickets, and I got tickets. Yay! So I'm definitely going.
That's
and it's going to be in September, late September, but
yeah. So maybe they just took so long to directly respond to your campaign because they were planning the tour.
The fact that
I can't believe it's happened. It was so cool.
I don't think I did anything for that. Like, I think that obviously, like, I have zero pull. I have no pull.
Well, you tagged them 80 times.
I did.
I would like to think that they at least saw it once.
Maybe. I sure hope so.
I don't know. I think you contributed to the cause.
I just think it would be cool. All I'm saying is, if you ever see this and you're at the show and you want to shout me out, I'm going to be there. So, if you want to have me on or like shout me out,
just shout out Lumo. Thank you for having us come to Boston.
Yay.
Yeah.
I'm excited. And they released a new single. It was pretty good. I don't know if they're doing an album soon or what, but
I would think. I mean, most tours are usually done because of releases of new new albums.
That's what I'm thinking. They're getting ready to drop an album, and they have a whole bunch of backlog stuff that I still need to get in tune with because I haven't. Because I'm not one of those people that is like, hey, I'm a fan, so I have to know every single thing. No, I just kind of take it as it comes. Do
you know how long they've been around for?
They've been around.
You don't have to give exact years.
Oh my God.
I assumed it was maybe. I mean, you've sent me a couple of
almost 10 years, I think.
10 years? Wow, okay.
Maybe more, but I think at least 10 years.
Nice.
So
anyway, Magdalena Bay, if you're listening, shout Lumo out for bringing the interest to Boston.
Thank you.
I really do think it. I in my heart of hearts believe that one of your 80-something tags to them got their attention, and they saw your commitment. They're
kind of smaller. Like, I'm not saying that they're small in any. Well, they're small compared to like people that we've mentioned, like Eminem and JLow and Drake. But like, I think they're wonderful, and I think they're gonna be great.
Yeah.
I just can't wait to see them.
I would do that with my favorite underrated band if they didn't already come to Boston or Connecticut 3 times now.
Who's that?
Soft Cult.
Oh shit, yeah.
But I've seen them 3 times, and it's either been in Boston or it's been in Connecticut.
They were great.
Yeah. So they do, and they're from Canada. So they
from Canada? Fuck.
Yeah. But they have come here. Otherwise,
I would healthcare and they come here.
Right.
Damn.
But yeah, so show interest in your favorite underrated band. Like, really. What's the worst that can happen? They do a tour near you? Oh, no.
Right?
So
if you genuinely love something, like, just say it.
Let it tweet.
They care about that stuff, especially small artists. Like, that's a big fucking deal.
Yeah. So I'm so stoked for you, though.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm very excited. It's
all well that ends well. Speaking of ending, that's where we're at. You get the trophy.
No, this is for you. This is the Pride Trophy.
Oh, it's the Pride Trophy.
It's the Pride Trophy.
Oh.
And you get it.
Oh, thank you.
Because you have been an outstanding representative of the bisexual community.
haven't done anything yet.
You don't think you have, but you've made an impact.
I've just been me.
That's what it takes.
The only choice I made was to be myself.
Thank you, Tori, for being yourself, being you.
Thank you for being
there.
you.
Oh.
No Lumo on Twitter. on twitter.com.
What a good segue.
Which I think actually now they finally changed the domain to X, but it's still Twitter because nobody calls it X.
No one's calling it Twitter. Fuck that.
So nobody's calling it X.
So sorry. Nobody's calling it X. Everyone's
calling it
Twitter.
Do you follow Elon Musk or something?
No.
Jeez. Next thing you're going to say is that you're glad that he canceled Top's space program because that happened today too.
I saw that.
I was so devastated for him. That's my tiniest
freak.
K-pop corner ever is that, well, we're already over a little bit, but anyway, Big Bang's Top is not going to the moon because they canceled the project, and apparently they all found out from the cancellation notice and not because they were told, which is really shitty, but whatever. The test rocket blew up, I think.
The first time, yeah. So
people were concerned anyway, but it was a dream of his to be the first Korean person to go to the moon. And I'm sad for him.
Me too.
But he'll always be a spaceman to me.
He'll get there one day.
Because he's an alien.
He's an alien?
He's goofy. I love Top. But anyway, I know you're not an Elon fanboy.
No.
I know you don't actually call it X. Or do you? Anyway, if you want to find out if he actually calls it X or Twitter, follow Lewis at Lumo or Twitch. The same.
I can't get over that segue. It was so good.
Thanks.
If you want to follow Tory, who is
pregnant with a bird,
who's got a bird, got a little birdie, you can go to youtube.com/azarathslame, AZARATHSFLAMEE. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you got it.
I always have to look at you because I'm
you seem so sure that I never question you. So
I have to focus so hard.
Yeah.
It takes every one of my neurons to focus on that. Or you can go to twitter.com/trippydesk. I think twitter.com.
Twitter with the bird.
The bird for the bird.
Yeah.
And see the bird.
Or if you want to follow LEM'n'TEA podcast socials, check us out at Twitter also. And also TikTok by the same name, while TikTok is still a thing. I don't even know what the deal with that is anymore. Apparently, we've got some deadline of like the end of the year. But
they're going to fight it on free speech.
Probably.
Is what's happening, which is smart.
Yeah. And if you like what you heard and want to hear us talk about aging musicians some more, or other good music or other good pop cultural bits, please consider subscribing and tell your friends. And we're going to be in episode 50 next, which is
goodness.
Huge. 50 episodes. Hooray. We need a cake.
Oh my God, no cakes. All right.
Some other sort of treat.
Oh, fine. Okay. All right.
But thank you for watching.
Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye. Good night, Wonho.
Good night, Wonho. Goodbye, Wonho. Oh my gosh.
All right.
He's coming back from the army soon.
When?
In September. I don't know the date.
Fuck.
I know. He's doing great, though. We're very proud of you.
Do you think he wants to come with me to go see Magdalena Bay?
Sure. Oh my God, you should do it.
Okay.
Bring me the picture.
All right, everybody.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Happy Pride.
Yeah, happy Pride. All right, Tori.
Do you want to take one out of Magdalena Bay?
Huh?